Hello, good morning. It's Don in London here. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. Saturday morning, August 22nd, 2000. So I need to slow down and actually understand what is important to me today. And for me, important always comes first is sobriety. If I'm sober, life works. If I'm not sober, life becomes very unmanageable very quickly. And I'm in recovery, and these videos are really about how to stay in recovery, how to overcome addiction, maybe. Yeah, overcome addiction, I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but learn to live with what it's like if we go back to the addiction. And addiction comes in two ways for me, either a substance or a behaviour, and really what I learn on a daily basis is how to keep my attitude to not drink and not drug and not behave in a way which is addictive or compulsive or obsessive. So somewhere in life there is a middle ground, and I know when things are not quite right in my mind. I find it hard to do these videos, so I've had about 4 or 5 false starts trying different camera settings, and I know at the end of the day I'll come back to this one which is reasonable. And you know, that's life, isn't it? If it doesn't look right, we want to change it. And the gift these days is looking for the changes which make something positive happen, rather than looking to the negative. And the whole program of fellowship for me, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, makes this possible. So if I learn how to be sober one day at a time and have a life plan one day long, I have a better chance of making the best of my time in the moment of now. And I go to AA meetings simply because it gives me experience, strength and hope and wisdom to keep on going when life seems almost impossible. So like many people, I have clinical depression. Unlike many people, or there are lots of people with it, type 1 diabetes, which I got in recovery. That is recovery from addiction. And the gift is, if I hadn't got out of recovery, I would never have got it. So I'm lucky to be alive and have it, and be able to deal with it on a daily basis. And again, sobriety helps me in that way. So 35 years of drinking, and here I am. Yeah, a few years on from there, and I don't drink a day at a time. So everything is around 24 hours. I wish I got 8 hours sleep sometimes, but I don't actually work, or my brain doesn't work that way. I seem to survive on less, but it's not that good for me. It brings on mental exhaustion. But I'm okay right now. Anyway, I'm rambling, and these videos really about recovery. The fellowship of AA, I don't speak for it. It's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves, and they choose where they speak. And the reason why I speak on here is to take out the misunderstanding about what AA can do and what it can't do. And the gift really is, there's a statement read at the beginning of every meeting, if you wish to attend one, and it goes like this, and it really gives the game away, what it can do, what it can't do, and what it doesn't want to be involved in. And here it goes. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the key statements in there for me are clearly, membership is a desire to stop drinking, and it's a fellowship, so no one's bigger or smaller. Nobody can tell you what to do. And the primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I think those are very, very valuable ways of looking at the world. And recently, it's been said more than once in more than one meeting, and these sort of phrases go around from time to time. 1 in 100 people make it through into sobriety from drinking. So drink dependency, if the National Health Service statistics in this country are correct, 1 in 13 of the population have a drink dependency problem, and that's a conservative estimate. And then if only 1 in 100 of those people actually makes it through to a place called recovery one day at a time, it's a shocking endorsement of it's a shocking endorsement of civilization as it is today. It's a bit sick. So I don't bandy that word about a lot. It's an unhelpful term. So the ailment of, or the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction or behaviour addiction is rampant at the moment, and the reason why is simply that life is tough and people need to take the edge off in some ways. And the odd thing for me, after 35 years of trying to take the edge off me and trying to make society think I was okay and look right and put on a brave face and hide my fear, is I don't want a brave face anymore. I don't want to feel fearful. I want to have a bit of courage, faith and confidence to keep on going, and the fellowship of AA helps me do that. And the fellowship is about 12 steps of action for individuals. That is action to change attitude and behaviour. And there are 12 traditions which keep us in a place of service, unity and recovery. And the first tradition actually says nobody in AA can tell you what to do. So we have to make up our own minds what we're going to do and how we're going to go about it. And that really sums up what is the programme of AA. We learn some wisdom, we move along, we don't drink, we enjoy life, or have a sad life depending on our life circumstances, but we seem to take it in our stride rather than actually bury ourselves underneath whatever addiction or taking the edge off requires. And it can come in so many different ways: anger, hate, frustration, and those are just a few of them. I'm looking for my books. I use daily reflections here. I've noticed the time is creeping along and I want to get to an AA meeting. So for August 22nd, it will be a long reading, but it says here, seeking emotional stability, and that's what I look for every day. Don't know if I get there, but I have a go. When we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be God himself. And as you know, God for me is truth, works through people, is love. And I can't define it, because to define God means I know God, and I don't know that I do, or can describe. It would be to defy, or be defiant and deny something bigger than me, if I could understand it. So I like practical nuts and bolts. God is truth, God is love, God works through people, and that way I have an understanding with my fellow man. We found that dependence upon his perfect justice, forgiveness and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. In other words, if we actually let our good conscience come out, and then we found a way forward without a drink inside us or a drug or a behaviour, then life got a bit better. If we really depended upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge to wholly rely on human protection and care. So it's a collective group conscience, if you like, community, civilization, society, what is good for us rather than what is bad for us. And it's a very difficult subject actually, but I don't know the full answer for anybody else. My answer works for me. And it goes on, all my life I depended on people for my emotional needs and security. But today I cannot live that way anymore. By the grace of God, I have admitted my powerlessness over people, places and things. Well, I have actually admitted powerless over people, places and things, and it's not my business to do anything to anybody. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. I don't know, I quite liked hiding under a stone, personally. It was the kind of attitude that could only get worse, because the more I depended on others and demanded attention, the less I received. Yes, because if we're a nag, or we're full of ego, or we're demanding all the time, we get controlling and manipulative, and people don't like us for it. I've given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Well, the collective good of good conscience in the world seems to help me a lot. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA's 12 steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me the inner peace and emotional stability. Well, again, for me that's good conscience, and you know what? Everybody has their own opinion of God or a higher power, and on any given day we can believe, disbelieve, be agnostic, atheist, depending on our life experience. I tend to keep my feet on the ground and my head in the clouds sometimes, so the serenity prayer often saves me. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, simply for today.